final session today, so we're going to run on just a little bit over time. I know she's due to run for about 19 minutes. I'm going to give her the full time that she needs, because again, it's a very practical, useful little session is this. You'll also get a handout during this session. So my guys that have just delivered the posters, you all now need to get the blue forms, because they're going to come out, and that's not a sale form. We're going to give you out a free press release that you can utilize, and that's coming out to you in a moment or two. Not yet, not until it's introduced by our next speaker. And she's someone who I have known now for almost 3 years, and a very, very knowledgeable lady in her field, and her insights have been very, very helpful to me during that last 3 years with my business, and I know she's helped many, many of you as well. I mentioned this morning the main reason why I've got her here today, because our theme today loosely has been around things, about the best things that are made in Britain, and one of our characteristics in this country is that we are a little bit shy and inhibited at actually telling our story and getting our message out there. And what this lady is going to do is give you some very practical insights and some nuggets that will help to amplify your message and therefore to help you grow. It could well be the most practical, useful session of the day. So stay with us for the next 19 minutes, and then we'll have a tea break. And in the meantime, give it up for my good friend. Here comes Lucy. Oh, I say.
Thank you.
You could have left this at the...
No.
You could have left it at reception.
No.
Overnight bag.
No. This is really important because, excuse me for being really cheesy to begin with, but I rest my case. Because what he's just done, obviously, is to big me up, give me perfect third-party endorsements, and he is somebody whose advice you value. You're here listening to what Nigel feels and believes about things, and you therefore, I hope, will listen to me, because he's saying that I know what I'm talking about. And just to stress it a little bit more, had he just stood here and gone, okay, the next speaker is Lucy Matthews from Marvellous PR, which obviously he wouldn't have said it like that anyway, but had he said that, then I would have had to blast onto the stage and go, hi, my name's Lucy Matthews. I'm bloody marvellous. I'm really good at PR, and I really know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to tell you everything this afternoon. And had I been you, I'd have probably gone, just think I might go make that quick phone call. And you'd have gone, and I'd have lost you. So, anyway, thank you, Nigel. I now don't need to tell you anything about what PR is all about. What I'm going to do, though, and please excuse me, I am going to give you a little bit of my story because I promise you it's relevant to you. Basically, I've been a PR consultant for probably a little more than 30 years. I've worked in business to business, I've worked in business to consumer, I've worked in Australia, in Luxembourg, in London, and now I'm based in Guildford. My clients are all over the country. I've worked for Pepsi, pasta ready meals, I've done photographers, I've done football clubs, you name it. I've worked for everybody. But I've always been paid while I was doing all that, I was trading my hours for money. And then I found the entrepreneur's circle. And it all changed. And suddenly I realized that I could see an exit. I could see something else I could do, not to be a consultant all the time. And now I am a marketer of PR resources. I still have my lovely consultancy where I do it all for you, and that's all thriving, and that's doing really well. But on the other side, I'm teaching people how they can do it themselves. And I have products, and I do seminars and workshops. And importantly, and this is where it's relevant to you, I have lifted myself out of mediocrity. I am now no longer one of your regular PR consultants. I am a little different because I use PR all the time. And PR is giving me 3 really important things which you need to be thinking about. It's making me the expert. As Nigel just said, I am the PR expert for my sins. Making me the expert, it's revealing my light from under the bushel so that my people who might be thinking about using PR know where I am and they know where to find me. And it happens all the time. People are ringing me up saying, oh, Lucy, I've been getting your emails and I've been thinking about using PR, but do you know what? I think I might just start. A couple of years ago, they wouldn't have even known where I was. And the third thing it's doing, as we know, is amplifying my message. And it can do absolutely the same for you, and it can lift you out of mediocrity. Not that, of course, anyone here is there, but in case you might be, it's the one thing that will really, really be powerful for you, the wonderful power of PR. So, this is what I'm going to talk about this afternoon, and I promise you, we will get to this. They're all saying behind the stage, why is she taking that bloody balloon onto the stage? Anyway, we will get to that. I'll tell you, there is a relevance. I'm going to give you 9 pearls of PR wisdom, which you can take away and absolutely take with you and use from today. I'm going to give you 2 pearls to get you thinking like those super successful people, like the 1% and the 4%, obviously in relation to PR. I'm going to give you 4 pearls for exploiting the media right now. Some really interesting things going on that you might not even be aware of. And as I say, these are kind of smart tricks of the trade that I use, that my colleagues use, that you can take away this afternoon. And then I'm going to give you 3 pearls, things you can do straight away. 1, I'm afraid he's stolen my thunder. 1 is, yes, a press release that me, your new best friend, has written for you. So you'll get that to take away. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about my wonderful new product, which I would encourage you to come and have a look at and take away, because you're taking a bit of me with you who's going to be sort of nudging you and forcing you to do PR on a regular basis. And you'll know why in a second. Okay, oops, we got it twice. Never mind. So the first thing, and this is really, really important, I need to get you thinking like those super successful people. Think to yourself, where are you in your market? Are you in the sort of middle section, mediocre, getting on okay? Are you super successful? Are you right up there where you want to be? And think of the businesses that you know in your market who are super successful, who are up there where you want to be. How did they get there? And how do they maintain their position? You know what? They are definitely using PR. And why? Because you think back to what I said about myself. They're using PR because it's making them the expert, and your potential customers are seeing them as the expert and not you. It's also lifting their light from under the bushel, like with me, so that your potential customers are finding them and not you. And it's amplifying their message so loudly that your potential customers can't hear you. So what's this implication for you? The implication is your customers are going to them and not you. They're getting the money, you're not. And not that I wish to stress this too loudly, but you cannot afford not to be doing PR. So, of course, why would you listen to me? And why would you believe me? I am but a lowly PR consultant. Why don't we listen to our best friend's best friend and see what he has to say about it?
If you could have a really good public relations person who could get out there and get your brand name known, get your company well known, it'll save you a lot of money and it'll be far more effective than the sort of conventional kind of advertising. And that's something I'd really recommend. Smaller companies. If you're going to create the best retail shop or the best clothing line or the best the best bus service or the best anything in your town, make sure people know about it.
Thank you, Richard. I rest my case. So, okay, now some really practical things. 4 pearls of how you are going to exploit the media. First of all, I just need to give you a bit of an idea of what's happening in the media, because there has been a massive explosion over the last, I'm looking at it over the last 5 years, but it's happening all the time. It's like this massive wheel that is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the opportunities it offers to you are just massive for getting your influence out there, your name, your brand, and your message. And it's absolutely, you've just got to be grabbing it. So let's look at a few stats. Excuse me, but I promise you it's relevant. So 2009, these were people actually reading physical copies of The Sun, which we found out last weekend. Nigel's one of those. So 3 million people were reading The Sun, which in fact was down from the year before, so it was beginning to drop. 2 million people were reading the Daily Mail, and 400,000 were reading the FT. And then if we fast forward to this year, the readership, this is of the physical papers, they're down 2 million reading The Sun, 1.6 million reading the Daily Mail, and 200,000 reading the FT. However, that's the physical papers. They've now all got an online version. And the Mail Online, for example, gets 11 million unique users every day. This is people using their news website. And that's up by 34% in the last 12 months. And if you just think of the implications of this, again, for your business, for your message, this is something that Mail Online, my 21-year-old daughter will not leave the house until she's read the Mail Online. She needs to know what's going on. And she takes it on holiday, and she reads it in the airport, and she reads it by the pool, whatever. So there's now no drop in a kind of seasonality of news. You can get your news out all the time. When I first started, it was sort of, you had to kind of stop in August, and December was a complete no-no. But not like that anymore. Also, obviously, it's 24/7, so the journalists have got a massive amount of stories to find, which, again, is good for you. And it's worldwide. You've got this massive audience. And we'll get on to, again, that's quite a big implication for what you're going to offer them. So we'll remember that one. I'm just going to look at national, local, and broadcast media, just really quickly. Local media, I know, because I hear it all the time. People curl their lip and say, oh, for God's sake, don't touch the local media. You are mad not to touch the local media. Because for a start, every newspaper has an online version. So again, we've got loads of space for you to get your stories out there. The two things you need to remember are that the local media is a cheerleader for your area. They make their money out of property ads, out of car ads, and out of local ads. And it's in their interest to big you up, to big up what's going on in the local area. And the second thing is they have no resources. They go hand to mouth. They need a well-written press release, and of course you'll be getting that. They need a good photograph, and they need to be sent it in enough time to get into their deadlines, which now is again quite easy because you've got online all the time. And they will run it. And I will be astonished if there is nobody in this room who this year isn't sponsoring the local tombola, hasn't employed another person, isn't thinking of taking on an apprentice, isn't having an event. And I've worked for several people in this room, and we are doing events for them. And all of this will get you local coverage, and it's there on the table for you to take. So please get on with that. National media. National media is tricky because so many people want to get in there. We all want to be in the national press. And all I can tell you is that you need to stand out. And we will get onto that in a second, my balloon. But one little example of really why you need to stand out. In my consultancy, a lot of our clients are in property because we've just been there historically. And one of the journalists that I'm particularly friendly with is called Graham Norwood. And he writes every weekend in the Telegraph, the FT, the Daily Mail. And when he was saying to me the other day, when he wants general comments for an article, so basically anybody could comment, he sends a round-robin email that I get to 231 PR consultants. So each PR consultant, like me, is going to have several clients that are relevant. And within the client, there's probably several people who could comment. So you just think about that in terms of yourselves and your market. And you think, in order to get your message out there, you've got to be interesting. And you've got to have something to say. And you've got to put your neck above the line and get off the fence. So again, don't worry, we'll get onto that. But that's my nugget about the national media. Now, I've got a fab one for you, though, for broadcast media, and I am going to be your new best friend. Because broadcast media is even more difficult to get into, because statistically, everybody wants to be on the telly. However, a couple of weeks ago, I met Steph McGovern, the business news journalist for Breakfast Television. I was watching her this morning. And she actually said to me that they are looking for stories about what's happening in the grassroots. They want to know what entrepreneurs are doing and what's happening in their businesses. And I said to her, so if I could find you some interesting stories, you'd be up for hearing? She said, absolutely. And she gave me her personal details. So the gauntlet I'm chucking out here today is if any of you do think you have something going on in your business which could get you, or rather you say should get you broadcast media coverage, please come and find me, and let's talk about what we could do together. So we now get on to what you can do today. Okay, we have 3 things. So firstly, I thought to myself, you guys need to be writing a press release about today, obviously. But then I knew what would happen, because I get it all the time. Oh, Lucy, I'm too busy, I can't write, I've got nothing of interest, there's nobody in the office to do it. So I thought, right, I'm going to write it for you. Well, then I thought I would give you this, which is actually what you can write. And of course, my lovely fellow EC friends went, they'll never write all that down. So I've actually written it for you. So it's all going to come out. And basically, this is what it covers. It talks about how SMEs account for 99.9% of the private sector businesses in the UK. I talk about the 20% whatever rule. I say, why are people doing well? Because they have good marketing, because this obviously is your angle, your business angle. And then I say, of course, because this is a local one for you, please read it when I've finished. A local one for you, it's saying that you, the business owner, have travelled all this far to come to the EC because this is such a fantastic resource for you, and it's doing wonders for your business, and there's a little gap in there for you to fill in how well your business is doing. And then there's a nice comment from Nigel, a nice comment from you, and all you need to do is to get somebody to type that up, filling in the appropriate bits. I would suggest, nay, urge you to have your photo taken somewhere here. It could be with a trusted supplier, or it could be with our Nigel, if he's happy to be photographed with absolutely everybody. But you need to be with a bit of signage, and it has to be high resolution, and you're going to send that press release and that photograph to your local papers and your trade press, and you should get some coverage this week. So there you are. I am your best friend. And the second thing I want you to take away is about images. So I'll go back to what I was saying about this explosion in the media. Because of this massive amount of online press media, a lot of people don't speak English who go onto these websites. So they access the stories now through images rather than the subject line. Obviously, headlines are still important, but images are even more important. And for example, the FT, 60% of their readers do not have English as their first language, and 30% of readers of the Daily Mail. So all I would say to you is to make sure that you illustrate your stories with really good pictures. And if your business is slightly dull in the picture department, then you can use infographics, and that's the smart trick of the trade that we're all using now with our clients. We're coming up with little charts and little diagrams to basically illustrate the possibly rather dull point we're making. But the journalists love that because they're always looking at the page and how it's going to look and how it's going to look, as we were saying earlier, on tablets and mobiles and stuff. So please think about that. And you need an angle, which is why I brought this on the stage, because I really, really want you to remember this. So we look at this delightful, slightly gaudy-looking thing, and what is it? Well, it's just a balloon, isn't it? It's kind of regular shape, it's very smooth, it just looks like any other balloon. And why is that? Because it has no angles. And you have to have an angle. You have to be interesting. So I would force you, when you go back tonight, maybe when you're driving back, think about 2 things that make you interesting, make you different. 2 things that you feel passionate about, that you could put your neck above the line and talk about, and those are your angle. So you'll be pleased to hear I have nearly finished. You've got your 9 pearls I've given you now. I actually have 101, and I have them in a little book. And it's for sale on my stand, which is perilously close to the toilets. So on the way out. This, obviously in true PR fashion, this is what people have said about my little book, which is, in fact, one person has said it, and I would just highlight that any business owner will benefit from keeping a copy of this book with you. And I decided that actually 101 is rather too many for you all. You need a much, much smaller number. So I've honed it down to 23 essential PR pearls. And I have put them in a workbook, and I've actually put them on video so that you've got a little me going, this is what you should be doing, remember you should be doing this, remember you should be doing that. And we have that for sale today. which it's literally only just launched. And the idea being that you can take it back and get going from today. So it's 23 little pearls. And from tomorrow, it will cost £57. And today only, it's £19.99. And the other big benefit of today grasping this product, apart from taking a little bit of me home, is that if you buy it today, you get free access to my online resources club, which anyone who's known me in the EC will go, at last, she's setting that thing up. She's been talking about it forever. But it will become a members club, so it will be something that people will pay to be part of. But I would like to put you all in there, and you can be my first members of my PR resources club. So you'll be pleased to hear that I have now finished. So thank you very much for listening to me. Please do that press release. Please let me know if you think you've got a nice little broadcast media story. And please, I beg of you, think seriously about doing PR properly in your business, because you genuinely cannot afford not to.